Hey, you're listening to Witchy Spiritual Stuff with your host, me, Elementally. Today we're going to talk about how to get fierce yes or no answers. But when you read tarot cards, it's going to make you feel enlightened. Whether we like it or not, living in the modern age is like playing an endless speed run of an old game. A lot of things haven't really changed. They've just started to happen so much faster. It's probably why yes or no tarot readings are so freaking popular. People nowadays want quick answers to important questions that might affect their future, and who doesn't? Surely getting some guidance about moving to another city or accepting a promotion won't hurt. The thing with life is that nobody's fate is really set in stone. So getting a yes or no tarot reading isn't going to cover all the bases that can lead you to a sound decision. And while advanced tarot readers sometimes recommend against yes or no questions, you're bound to encounter them at one time or another. I know I did. When you read tarot cards, yes or no questions aren't inherently bad, but you should keep in mind that tarot reading is much more nuanced. Sometimes the yes or no you get comes with a few caveats. That being said, yes or no tarot readings can lead to some pretty interesting answers. If you're wondering how to do a yes or no tarot reading, here are some recommendations. Start upright and reverse. This is probably the most basic way to do yes or no tarot readings. If the card is upright, it's a yes. If it's reversed, it's a no. To get balanced number of upright and reverse cards, cut your deck in half. One half should be reversed and the other half should be upright. Shuffle and reshuffle until you feel that you've achieved balance. Since this is the most basic way to do yes or no tarot readings, there's a lot of room for further interpretation. This can work for those who want to get straightforward yes or no answers. This method sort of taps into the more nuanced messages from your tarot cards. But because it gives a more intricate reading, you also need to make an effort to properly prepare your cards. For this technique, you need to go through your entire deck and divide it into yes, no, and maybe cards. This list can depend on your personal feelings toward each card or the general interpretation associated with each one. For instance, the Sun can be a yes card, while the Death card could be a no card. On the other hand, the Wheel of Fortune, which is generally associated with ups and downs, could just maybe be a maybe card. For minor arcana cards, you will need to dig deep into how you personally feel about each card. For example, I view the Ace of Cups as something positive, so it would go on my yes list. But on the other hand, the Six of Swords would be on my no list, while the Seven of Pentacles would be in my maybe list. It's a good idea to note down which classification each card belongs to, so you don't get tempted to change what they mean in order to suit the answer that you want to hear. How do you use 3 tarot cards to get your questions answered? Well, for this method, you can have to draw 3 tarot cards instead of 1. While the interpretations here can be a little more complex compared to those provided by the last 2 techniques, you'll be able to get more refined answers. There are different ways you can interpret the meaning of each card that comes up. Here's a few that you should consider. The first card is your current situation, your state of mind, or the possibility of a positive event. The second cards are steps you need to take toward your goal. The state of your body, or the possibility of a negative event. The third card is the goal that you want to reach. The state of your spirit, or a guiding message that can lead you to either the positive or negative event. It's entirely up to you if you want to draw the cards from a shuffled deck or from a spread. I find that a spread honestly works better for me when using this method. So how do you get an accurate yes or no tarot reading? Well, because of the simple nature of the yes or no questions, they tend to limit the full power and capacity of your tarot deck to deliver clear and intricate answers. After all, there are a ton of other energies and influences that can ultimately affect a particular situation. To avoid misinterpretation, keep the following tips in mind. To get the right answers, you need to ask the right questions. Focus on one clear question only. Sometimes you might ask questions like, will I get married and stay with that person? Well, these are two questions, and it's not going to be clear if the tarot is answering the first or the second question. You should also specify a time. Yes or no readings are more effective for short-term decisions. Instead of broad, long-term ones, or instead of asking, will I get married? Ask instead, will I get married by the end of the year? Phrase your questions in a neutral or objective way. Avoid asking questions that carry a positive or negative emotion. For instance, instead of asking, does my partner hate the idea of having kids? You could rephrase that question to say, does my partner want kids? And this keeps you from having a biased interpretation. Avoid shoulds and why. Why questions don't really lead to a yes or no answer, and they often require more interpretation since they're dealing with the broad concept like reasons. In the same manner, avoid questions that sound like you're asking for permission to do something. Remember that tarot readings are not traffic lights. Your free will can still affect the outcome of a situation. And if you don't think your choices through, you might just find yourself in a sticky situation. Let me say that again. Remember that tarot readings are not traffic lights. Your free will can affect the outcome. And if you don't think your choices through, you might just find yourself in a sticky situation. Yes or no tarot readings can be fun and interesting to do when you want some guidance for the near future. But don't forget that life is full of surprises. So even if you get a yes, a no, or a maybe, things can still change depending on your choices. Nobody's fate is sealed, so you can still turn things around if you don't get a favorable answer from the deck. Good luck and happy taroting.